boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-ba-ba. Hey, how you doing? What's going on, y'all? Hope everything is going great for you on this Thursday. Tony Scott here with some tea to spill and some other things to talk about. Closing out your day today, so appreciate you hanging out with me and get that out the way so we can have the clock out of the way. All right, got a little throat thing going on here. I don't know what that's about. Also, welcome to our YouTube Live. We're on YouTube Live today, too, and on Facebook Live. YouTube Live, folks, I don't know if I have the comments turned on yet or not, but I'm here. You're here, and I appreciate you for that. Agnes is also here today, so I want to say hi to her. Also to Nikki and Janice, and appreciate you so much for being part of what we're doing here. So let me spill some tea from today that I was talking about earlier. Ann Omeda, how you doing? Bobby Brown was talking to Rolling Stone magazine, and Bobby Brown was asked, what is the most misunderstood thing about Whitney Houston? And Bobby says the fact that she had drugs in her body when she died. He doesn't believe she had drugs in her body. And during the interview, his current wife, Alicia, was there, and she said, when Bobby said that, she goes, Whitney did have drugs in her body. And Bobby says, I don't think so. So pretty interesting things in the interview also. He says that Every Little Step and Don't Be Cruel, he hated those songs when he recorded them. He didn't like them at all. He says, I didn't have that vision, is what he says. But he says he does now, and he's thankful because those songs were very good to him. So there you go. Alicia, how are you? Good to see you. Also, Riri, what's going on? Yes, love your Dallas Cowboy Avi. T.I.'s called off the boycott against Houston's restaurant in Atlanta. You remember last October, there was a big thing going on where the restaurant was going to be boycotted because of some of Houston's business practices, including they were accused of profiling African Americans and not seating them as fast as they would seat some white customers. In fact, a couple of times, black folks were skipped over to seat white folks who got there after the black customers had got there. T.I. met with execs quite a few times, and Houston's has agreed to no racial discrimination in seating customers. Also, they agreed to bring more minorities into their business, and they are resting the dress code. Not sure what that means, because before you almost had a tuxedo on if you were black to get seated there, apparently. But now apparently they're going to relax that. Saw an article. Amanda Stenberg is an actress, biracial actress, and she says she gave up a role in Black Panther because of her light skin. She says her light skin had everything to do with her not pursuing a role. She says it was there to be pursued, but she says all these dark-skinned actors playing Africans, and I feel like it would have just been off as a biracial American with a Nigerian accent, just pretending that I'm the same color as everyone else in the movie, so she passed on that. And it kind of made me sad. But then you got to remember it is Hollywood, and it is what it is, and you have to just deal with it the way that is. I mean, that's way separate from the Me Too movement and all that, because that you shouldn't have to deal with. So that's the truth on that. Nada, how are you tonight? Good to see you. Glad you're here with me. And what else? Indy Irie says she is Team Monique. She says she's Team Monique. She joins, as far as high-profile people go, she joins Jada Pinkett Smith and Wanda Sykes as backing Monique with her boycott of Netflix. She says India says you may not like the way Monique made her case, but she's right that black actresses, black performers are way underpaid compared to their white counterparts. Jay-Z has passed Diddy on the richest Forbes wealthiest in hip-hop list. Last year, Diddy was #1 and Jay-Z was #2. This year, Jay-Z, his income went up his worth went up from $812 million to $900 million, and he hopped over Diddy, and Diddy is second. Dr. Dre is third, and I think Drake is fourth, but way back in fourth place. And Eminem, I believe, came in fifth place. So I saw this pretty good article. By the way, all these stories you can read in their entirety at krnb.com. So there you go. Well, not that people shouldn't be racist, but that's in that perfect world that doesn't exist, and that's an unfortunate thing. She was talking about the whole thing with Amanda Stenberg and Amanda Stenberg. I'll get it right eventually. Michelle Obama said in an interview that before she sent Malia off to Harvard, she gave advice to Malia. It was 6 words: don't wind up on page 6. In other words, don't don't be involved in a scandal. And, of course, that didn't work because Malia, well, she wasn't in a scandal, but she certainly was on Page 6 and other like type publications, whether they were digital or printed. But I don't think obviously it's not Malia's fault. You know, Malia happens to be the daughter of one of the most beloved presidents ever. And by most scholars and pundits, President Obama is at the very least one of our top 10 presidents of all time. You may place him higher, but at a minimum, he's in the top 10. And when you're the daughter of that man, Barack Obama, you know, you're a high-profile person too, by association. And they're going to follow you, and they're going to watch everything you do. They're going to put you in newspapers and magazines and online and all that, and none of it's her fault. It's just life. It is what it is. Is it fair? No, it's not, but it is what it is. So Tisha Campbell Martin has landed an ABC pilot, a drama about 5 sisters who are New York Police Department officers, and it follows their lives and stuff. It's a pilot, hasn't been picked up yet, but if it is, what happens to the Martin reboot? Because, I mean, I guess she could do 2 jobs at one time, but, you know, that requires a lot. The new show the pilot doesn't have a title, but it will be directed by Regina King. So there's that. There's going to be the Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder episode. The crossover episode is airing tonight. Also, Atlanta is back on FX with their season premiere called Atlanta Robin Season. Let's see what else is going on. Over half of Americans think that the president is racist. According to a poll, they actually did a poll for that. You know, I've talked about polls before. You ask 500 people over there, and you base the pulse of America on those 500 people over there. But it's no news that a lot of people, especially people who look like you and me, think that the president is racist. Although the president told a reporter one time, I'm the least racist person you will ever interview. Well, that still implies that you're racist. You're just maybe not as bad as that racist, but it still says you're racist. Did he misspeak? Yeah, he probably did, but then again, you never know. So, all right, Atmos here locally, Atmos Gas Company, today around noon, turned the gas off for about 2,800 homes in northwest Dallas because of the gas leak. You'll remember last month, a little girl was killed because a house exploded, and apparently there have been a few home explosions in the area, and there's no mandatory evacuation. Right now, they're meeting with the residents of Northwest Dallas in the affected area because they have questions and they want answers, and hopefully they'll get them. I mean, if you evacuate, I think because it's not mandatory, and I'm just guessing here, if it's not mandatory, then if you leave, then it's your dime of where you're going to stay. If you got to stay in a hotel or something, because this is going to last like 3 or 4 weeks of no gas at this 2,800 homes until they can see what the problem is and fix it. So there you go. Also, Vladimir Putin, apparently the question is he making his move? I don't know if you followed that today, but the guy who runs Russia says that he has missiles that are indefensible. And he says people are going to listen to us now. So is he making his move? Kind of looks like it, huh? Should we be worried? I wouldn't say worried. I wouldn't say concerned. I would say we need to keep our eye on that and keep each other informed on that with the facts. There's going to be a lot of fake news going around, and so you got to be able to sort that out a little bit. Also, a Kroger is going to stop selling guns, firearms to people who are not 21. If you're under 21, you're not going to be able to buy these at their Fred Meyer stores. You can't buy guns at Kroger, but their other store, Fred Meyer, they're going to stop doing that. Also, some Kohl's stores are going to start putting Aldi inside the store. So now you can buy some jeans, you know, and some refried beans or whatever. You can buy it all at the same place, I guess. I don't know if they're going to be complete Aldis or just some things, but they're working on that. In some stores, that's going to be there. And there's a big, in England, the KFC there, they have a gravy shortage going on. And yes, all the other problems in the world have been solved. We need to address the gravy shortage in the UK, which to me is funny. It's like, so what does that mean? Is the royal wedding off now because there's no gravy from KFC? I don't know. I think that's kind of silly, but I thought it was kind of funny too. So anyway, that's what I have. If you want to circle back and talk about, comment about some of the stuff I talked about, you can, or anything else for that matter. You're more than welcome to. Let's see what we got here so far. Did I get to see my family yet? Not. No, they'll be here. I think, I got to ask my wife. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday. And, but I got to ask her, or when are they coming? Are they coming? Because I think my daughter's last day of school might be like Wednesday, maybe Thursday. If so, they'll be here that Friday or Saturday of next week. But I can't wait to see them. So I'm excited for that. If for not anything else, I'll have company at my apartment. Because, when I leave here at night, I don't have a person-to-person conversation in person until the next day. I go straight home. I have conversations like this, well, more on FaceTime, that kind of thing, with my wife and my kids. So there's that. So I'm anxious to see them. So that'll be great. Let's see, what else are you talking about here? Aunt Homeda, if you could tell me about what you heard on CNN, just to remind me so I can chime in too. That would be kind of nice. I'm hoping my wife has a lovely, yeah, we'll spend it apart. This is the last birthday we'll spend apart, both of our birthdays. In fact, she told me it was the last when Valentine's came. She said, "It's the last Valentine's that we'll spend together. Next year it's gonna be on and popping." I got scared. She's in much better shape than I am, so I was kind of worried, kind of concerned. But thank you for saying happy birthday to my wife. I appreciate that, and I will, Ray. I will enjoy my time. Well, I'm sorry, Riri. I will enjoy my time with my family. I always do. I always do. It's interesting because I live alone, so it takes a couple, 2-3 days for me to adjust to having someone around all the time. I'm not nasty to them. I'm just very quiet. And my wife pointed that out to me when I went home for Christmas. Like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "It's just, you have to understand, I live alone, so it takes a minute, because I spend most of my time alone. It takes a minute for me to get used to having people around me all the time." And I'm thankful that you guys are here, and I'm thankful that I make it down up to St. Louis when I can spend time with you guys. But just relax, You're the love of my life. You're the soul of my being. My next breath doesn't make sense without you in my life. I can't think of any more. That's, And then she'll say, "You know what, you're full of crap." So we've been together a long time, so we enjoy giving each other a hard time. So that's kind of like how that is with that. But yeah, so that's everything that I saw that I thought was kind of interesting in the news. We really do need to keep our eye on Vladimir Putin, though. If he says he's got missiles that are indefensible, that can penetrate any ways to shoot them down, get them down, to fight them. He says it's not possible with these missiles that we got. Y'all gonna listen to us? But why isn't Trump saying? Did he say something about that? I don't know. I don't know if he said anything about that today. He's, when North Korea says, "Yo, we got missiles that can reach, the middle of America," they were ready to call the dogs out. Now that Putin says something, we get crickets from the White House. I mean, what is that? What is that? So yeah, circling back to my wife and my kids, it does take time to get used to having a full house. Yeah, it does. It does. And when 2 people show up in my 1-bedroom apartment, it does become a full house. So there's that. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'm excited when they're here, and I'm sad when they leave. But and it's funny. It kind of takes me a little while to get used to them being gone too, when they do leave. So, but I'll get them for about a week. I'm happy about that. I wish my 22-year-old could make it, but she's working. Because one weekend I'm going to have my 18-year-old, my 22-year-old, and my oldest daughter from my first marriage. I'm going to have them all together very soon, I hope. Maybe in the summertime. Because it's very seldom that we get all together and stuff. So it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to that. Is it Daryl or Daryl? What's up? How you doing? Now, is your last name Wilderness for real? That's an interesting last name. If that's your last name, well, I would love to sit down with you and find out the origin of that. That's pretty interesting. I know, so like there are people whose last names are Friendly, which I find fascinating. I'm into names. I've always, am into names and stuff like that. I think how people are named are fascinating. The last name, the surnames and stuff like that. I'm just weird that way. I just, excuse me for that, but that's just how I am. So, dinner tonight, what am I going to have? Because I know tomorrow, no meat tomorrow, so I'm going to have fish twice tomorrow. So what I'll have tonight, it'll either be chicken or it'll be oatmeal. I think I'm going to have chicken. So there you go. So your last name actually is Wilderness. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm excited about my family coming here too for that. So it'd be great to have them all. And then, you know, once I have my girls together and my wife, my 3 girls and my wife, then we go see Mom. See, Mom's about 4 hours from here. Go see her and blow her mind, and that would just be fun. So I'm very blessed to have my mom, and my mom sometimes my mom is sharper than me. So that's you're making now. How do you Nada? You're making no? Is it nochi? Is the G silent on that? And what is that? Educate me, school me. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so school me about what that is, so that I can decide if I want to make that too. So hopefully we'll do that. But look, I gotta go. My boss is getting ready to walk in. Have a great rest of the night, and I'll see you guys later.